Have you ever looked at someone in your family and thought, why does this person drain me every time I talk to them? You try to explain it, but the words won't come. You feel something dark behind their smile, but you don't want to sound paranoid. You've called it bad energy. You've blamed it on personality differences. But deep down you knew something was off. And now, God has exposed it. He has shown you what you couldn't see before. The serpent was hiding in your own family. This may be one of the hardest truths you'll ever accept, but it will also be one of the most freeing. Because you cannot fight what you won't face, and you cannot heal from what you're still defending. C.S. Lewis once said, "We do not write to be understood, we write to understand." And today, I want to speak not just to your head, but to your heart, because some of you are carrying wounds that didn't come from the world. They came from within your own house. The Bible doesn't hide this reality. In Genesis 4, the very first murder didn't happen in the streets. It happened between brothers, Cain and Abel, born of the same mother, raised under the same roof. But something evil crept into Cain's heart: jealousy, bitterness, pride. And what did God say? Sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must master it. Genesis 4 verse 7. The serpent was already whispering, already plotting. This wasn't just sibling rivalry. This was spiritual warfare, wearing the clothes of family tension. And the same thing is happening today. The enemy knows that if he can use someone close to you, he doesn't have to come himself. If he can speak through your mother's mouth, or your brother's criticism, or your aunt's jealousy, he can keep you doubting yourself, and even doubting God. Let me be clear. Not everyone in your family is sent by God to walk with you into your destiny. Some were assigned to be part of your history, not your future. And while we are called to love, honor, and forgive, we are also called to discern. Jesus himself said in Matthew 10 verse 36, "A man's enemies will be those of his own household." That's not a curse. That's a warning. It doesn't mean you should hate your family. It means you should wake up, because the devil is a strategist, and one of his oldest tactics is infiltration. The serpent in the garden didn't force his way in. He was already there. Quiet, subtle, familiar. And he spoke not with threats, but with suggestions. Did God really say? This is the voice some of you have heard from your own family members. Are you sure you're called? You really think you're better than the rest of us? Nobody in this family has ever done that before. What makes you so special? And you thought it was love. You thought it was protection. But God just showed you. It was the voice of the serpent. This doesn't mean you cut people off in anger, but it does mean you start walking in truth. Let me give you some signs that the serpent may be hiding in someone close to you. They celebrate your failure more than your success. They speak well of you in public, but undermine you in private. They always remind you of who you were, never who you're becoming. They use guilt to control you. They bring confusion instead of clarity whenever they speak into your life. They are uncomfortable when God begins to elevate you. They call your obedience pride and your humility weakness. When God begins to expose this, you must understand, it's not to shame them, it's to free you. Because some of us have been praying for breakthrough, but the enemy had legal access to your house through someone you refused to confront. And God, in his mercy, has now turned on the light. You may have cried when he showed you. You may have grieved. You may still be trying to pretend you didn't see what he showed you. But once your eyes are open, they can't be closed again. You might say, "But they're my blood. But they raised me. But I owe them everything." No, you owe them love. You owe them forgiveness. But you do not owe them access to your purpose. Jesus loved Judas. He washed Judas' feet. But he also let him walk out of the room. What you are about to do quickly. John 13 verse 27. There comes a moment when you must release the people God exposes, not in hate, but in honor and clarity. Because if you hold onto the serpent, it will bite you. And then you'll wonder why the poison is still in your system. You don't heal from spiritual venom by pretending it wasn't a snake. You heal by admitting it and surrendering it to God. So what should you do when God shows you the serpent in your family? First, don't panic. You're not alone. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers. David was hunted by his spiritual father, Saul. Jesus was betrayed by his disciple. You're in good company. Second, get quiet before God. Ask him what to do. Not every serpent needs confrontation. Some just need distance. Proverbs 26 verse 20 says, "Where there is no wood, the fire goes out." Some battles end simply because you stop feeding them your attention. Third, set boundaries without bitterness. Boundaries are not rebellion. They are wisdom. You are not evil for protecting your peace. You are not disloyal for protecting your calling. Fourth, forgive. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. Jesus said in Matthew 6 verse 14, "If you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you." Forgiveness doesn't mean access. It means release. Finally, thank God. Yes, thank Him. Because exposure is a blessing. He could have left you blind. He could have let the serpent stay hidden. But He opened your eyes, and now you can walk in truth. Romans 8 verse 28 says, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose." Even betrayal, even heartbreak, even family drama, it all works together when it's in the hands of God. You are not crazy. You are not rebellious. You are not bitter. You are awake. And once you're awake, the enemy can't use the same trick again. So today, take a deep breath. You may have cried over what God revealed, but you'll rejoice over what He's about to restore. Your calling is safe. Your identity is secure, and the serpent has been exposed. The curse stops with you. The silence ends with you. The healing begins with you. Be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, and rooted in truth. Stay strong. Stay watchful. And remember, God exposes not to destroy, but to deliver.